I went from having a screen time of over 8 hours each day, with most of it being scrolling on Insta, TikTok and Shorts, to now having a screen time of under 2 hours. And also I stopped consuming Shorts or scrolling in general in more than 1.5 years. With that, I have lots of free time. With my new free time, I improved my body and I went from skinny to muscular. On top of that, I improved my physical and my mental health tremendously. I fixed my poor sleep and now sleep better than 95% of all people. I traveled around in Europe and in Asia. I rediscovered nature and now find the small things in life enjoyable. On top of that, I climbed the highest mountain in Oman. I read around 70 books in German, French and in English. I ran my first competitive 10K and I'm training for a marathon. I started 2 YouTube channels, this one and one in Spanish, and I never spoke a word of Spanish before I started. So I'm learning a new language. I also learned how to play the piano. And most important, I improved my relationship with my family. On top of that, I'm still working part-time. I was able to achieve this with my compendium 5 pillars of quitting that helped me tremendously in stopping scrolling, reducing my screen time, and then filling that free time with productive stuff, with stuff that brings me further in life. So today I will talk about 3 things that helped me tremendously in achieving that. The first thing is mindset, and to be more specific, switching your mindset. Because truth be told, your current mindset isn't beneficial to you. It convinced you to scroll, it convinced you to do bad habits, and it convinced you to do them over and over and over again, although you know they are bad for you. So you need to critically think about your mindset. You need to think if your mindset is really that beneficial to you. I give you an example. There's the placebo effect, and it works like this. Let's say you have symptoms of headache, fever and stomachache. So you go to the doctor. Then he describes you a sugar pill. A normal ass sugar pill with no medicine in it. So you take it. But because you believe it will cure you, it cures you. But the pill itself, no medicine. Literally no medicine. Just because you thought it would cure you, it cured you. Now the opposite is also true. Let's say you go to the doctor and he said, if you take this pill you can develop headache, fever and stomachache. So you take it, and then because you believe the doctor, you will develop those side effects. But the pill itself didn't change. It was the same pill that actually could cure you, but now it harmed you. And the same applies to your mindset. You could have a mindset that cures you, that is your biggest ally, or you could have a mindset that harms you, that is your worst enemy. If you now critically think about your current mindset, you will come to the realization that your current mindset is your enemy. So you need to switch it to a better mindset. And luckily for you, I developed one. I developed the less scroll mindset. This less scroll mindset has 4 steps in it that are so easy to replicate, so you will also have a better mindset, a less scroll mindset. So let's get right into it. The first step in having a less scroll mindset is you need to realize something. You need to realize that time is the most valuable thing in life. You need to drill that in your mind. That time is literally the only thing in life we have a limited number of. Money, you can always get more. Relationship, there is always a different girl or another girl. Friendships, there is even more people around you. But time is limited. The time you wasted 2 days ago is gone forever. And you have an endpoint. It's set in stone when you're going to die. So you need to treat your time as it is, as the most valuable thing in life. And how do you do this? First, you do this by saying it over and over and over again, in your head or out loud, in front of a mirror, in front of a crowd, it doesn't matter. But just saying it over and over again, that time is the most important thing and that you value your time. This is important, this is crucial to actually valuing your time. And then, how do you do action steps in valuing your time is simple. by making a plan. You make a plan and structure your life. With that, your time will become more valuable because you know when you want to do certain tasks. The next thing to have a less scroll mindset is being more productive and focused. And the same with time, you need to first convince yourself that you're productive and focused, and you do this by simply saying it over and over and over again in your head that you are productive and that you are focused. And on top of that, you need to reflect your thoughts with action. And how do you do this? You will become productive if you create a habit tracker and if you create a to-do list. And with a habit tracker, simply, you do 4 habits that you think are beneficial to you. Then you make a simple habit tracker. You can go on Google or ask ChatGPT to make for you a habit tracker, and then do a habit tracker. With that, you will become more productive. On top of that, you make a to-do list. And you do a to-do list simple as this. You write a piece of paper, and then every evening you write down tasks you want to do during the day. And voila, you will become more productive. Then, to be more focused, simple, meditation. That's it. I know, it's insane, right? The next thing in the less scroll mindset is the apps like TikTok, Shorts, and especially short form content. They don't care about you. They don't care about you in the slightest bit. If they would care about you, if they would care about your health, they would have stopped making such addictive app, such time-consuming app, and such apps that are so bad for your mental and for your physical health. Because truth be told, if they would care about you, if they would really care about you, they wouldn't have designed such an addictive app. They would create an option on the page to delete short form content or to enable short form content, but they don't do that because they know that it is so addictive and it's so harmful to you, but you will still come back to it because it's so addictive. So you need to drill in your mind that they don't care about you. They don't care if you have mental illness. They don't care if you've become anxious, depression, or you kill yourself. They don't care. Because if we are being honest, if they would care, they would change their apps. They would stop making short form content and they would stop making it so addictive. But truth be told, they had hundreds, not even thousands of intelligent people just having a sole purpose of making their apps as addictive as possible. So you need to realize that the apps, they aren't cute. Not 15 minutes a day is alright. No, 0 minutes a day is okay. Because their apps, they are malicious. The people who design them are malicious because they don't care about you. They make you anxious, they make you depressed, they give you mental health issues. So you need to switch from seeing the apps as something cute, something fun, to something that it is, as the most destructive thing in your life. And the last thing in the less scroll mindset is you need to switch from a short-term thinking to a long-term thinking. Because truth be told, right now you're thinking short-term. That's why you scroll, because you're always choosing the short-term fun. You're always choosing the easy option. Instead of working, instead of learning, instead of doing productive thing, you scroll because it's the easy and it's the short-term option. You need to switch from just looking at it in a short term, thinking, oh, it's not so bad because it's fun and maybe I feel bad, but the time flies by and sometimes I see a funny video, so it's alright. No. That's short-term thinking. You need to think long-term, because on a long-term scale, if you continue to scroll and if you continue to do bad habits in general, your life will go down a spiral. You need to realize in your head a graph. And on the y-axis there is time, and on the x is your enjoying or your happiness in life. Now, you need to realize that in short term, if you scroll or not scroll, it doesn't really affect this graph. But in the long term, if you continue to scroll, your happiness will deteriorate because you will develop depression, anxiety and mental health problems. But if you then switch that and think long term and then do good habits, your life will extrapolate in the positive effects because you do habits that over a long period of time benefit your life. So you need to think every action you do. Think, if I do this over and over and over again, is it beneficial to you? Is it beneficial to me? If so, do it. Do it and continue to do it. And if not, then stop doing it, because you need to think long term, see it long term. If you do it for a year, every day, will it harm or benefit your life? If it benefits your life, then do it. If it harms, then don't do it. This is so important. Now, to recap the mindset is value your time and do action towards valuing your time. Being more productive and focused and reflecting your thoughts with action. Then fuck the apps, because they're malicious and they don't care about you, and you need to switch from short-term thinking to long-term thinking. Now, if you want to have a more widened awareness of mindset and less scroll mindset and stopping scrolling, then click the first link in the description. The next thing is 2 important questions. The first is, why do you scroll? You need to find out why or what's your desire to continue to scroll and to continue to do bad habits. And you need to write down why. Why do you scroll? Why do you binge watch? Why do you watch porn? Etc. In this case, why do you scroll? Write that literally down. Stop this video right now. Grab a piece of paper. Literally, grab a piece of paper and do this literally right now. Write down on a piece of paper, why do you scroll? And write every answer that comes to your mind. Maybe an answer is because you think it's fun, and you write down. Then the next answer you have in your mind is because of connection, because my friends send me funny memes and so we connect on that. Or because you like to look at hot girls, so on. Just everything that comes to your mind why you continue to scroll, and write that down. Write it on a piece of paper. This is important for the next step. Alright. You did this, right? You take the piece of paper and write down why you scroll. If not, do this. Do this right now. Okay? Right. So, the next question is, why do you want to stop scrolling? First, we answered why we want to continue to scroll, and now we need to answer why we want to stop scrolling. And you do the same procedure. You take a piece of paper and now you write down every answer that comes to your mind why you want to stop scrolling. I give you again examples. Let's say you want to stop scrolling to be more productive, to have more free time, to spend more time with family, to be able to learn, etc. Now, why is this so important? Why is this so important? I tell you why. You need to imagine in your head a scale. A normal scale. On one side, there is why you want to continue to scroll. And on the other side of the scale is why you want to stop scrolling. Right now, the reason why you scroll and continue to scroll is because the side on why you want to continue is heavier. So you need to tip the scale in the other direction, and you do this by making your answer stronger or heavier. And how you do this? How do you make your answer to stop scrolling stronger? Simple. First is you need to write multiple answers, and the second is you must write deep answers. And with deep answers, I mean not just some shallow answer like being more productive. You need to ask yourself, why do you want to be more productive? Or why do you want to learn more? Or whatever you written down for why you want to stop scrolling. You need to ask with every answer you wrote down, why? Why I want to have these answers? Or why you want to achieve this? Why you want to, like I said, be more productive, have more free time? And then answer this question. For example, you want to have more free time to travel more. Why do you want to travel more? And so on. So you create a deep and heavy answer. So the scale tips in that. And if the scale tips in your favor and tips in the favor of you being able to stop scrolling, then, only then, you will be able to stop scrolling. If not, if the scale is even, or if the scale is tipped towards continue to scroll, you will never be able to stop scrolling. So, you need to do this. Take a piece of paper, write down this side and the other side, and make the side you want to win heavier. The last step is replacing bad with good habits. You need to recognize that right now you're doing several bad habits or have several different bad traits that over a long period of time will harm you. Like I said, scrolling will harm you in the long term. Binge watching harm you in the long term. Porn harms you in the long term, and so on. You probably know what bad habits you have in your life that you know are bad for you and that in the long run will harm you. So, you need to, first of all, stop doing them. And then you need to replace them with habits that are beneficial to you. Because it's important that you replace them. Because if you just stop doing them and then don't fill that time with something productive, you will eventually fall back in doing that habit. This is important. If you stop doing the bad habits, you need to then fill that same time with good habits, with productive habits. If not, you will fall back doing the bad habits. This is so important. You need to literally drill it in your mind. Now, maybe you don't know what good habits are or what good traits are. So I give you some examples that you can implement and that you can replace your bad habits with them. First, there are the 4 essential habits. I talk a lot on this YouTube channel. They are reading, meditation, exercise, and gratitude journaling. I'll explain them a bit. Reading is important to cure or fix your attention span and your focus, because reading is hard. If you need to focus on something to read, you improve your focus and your attention span. So that's good. And then, over a long period of time, your attention span and your focus will rise to normal or better than most of the people. On top of that, if you read, you also learn. You'll learn different concepts or you learn new words. So that's also very good. And if you watch entertainment books or fiction books, you also entertain yourself without fucking up your dopamine, without fucking up your focus and your attention span. So that's why reading is so good. The next thing is meditation. I'll give you an example why meditation is so important. Let's say you are in a forest and the forest represents your life. But now the forest is full with fog, so you can't see shit. Now, how do you navigate through the forest? How do you navigate through that life? Simply by lifting the fog. And then you see your path in front of you. And meditation does that. It lifts the fog in your head. It lifts the fog of not knowing what to do, because your focus and your attention span is fucked. So if you meditate, this fog in your head will disappear. And meditation is quite simple. Meditation are 4 steps. You focus on something. This could be anything. Focusing on breath, focusing on a point of your wall, focusing on sound. The next thing is you lose that focus. Then you realize you lose that focus, and the last step is you go back to the focus. You see, meditation isn't about having no thoughts. No. It's more of having lots of thoughts, but going back to the thing you wanted to focus on. That's meditation. Not having no thoughts, but going back to the thing you're wanting to focus on. The next thing is exercise. And exercise is simple. You can exercise whatever you want to do. Preferably either something you do with friends or with people that are around you, or in nature. I give you an example. Weightlift, calisthenics, football, tennis, rugby, American football, going for a run, etc. Exercise is quite simple. Just what do you like in exercising, and then do it, or do that. And the last step is gratitude journaling. I give you an example why gratitude journaling is so important. A few days ago, I was sitting in this room and I was working on YouTube. But then and there, I had this thought in my head that I could compliment my mother for doing always such a good job in cooking. So I went downstairs and I said to my mother that I'm grateful for her ability to make such good meals that brings me so much joy eating them. And she had such a smile on her face. And she hugged me and was so thankful. And the reason I had this thought was because I gratitude journal. And I gratitude journal for, I think, over a year now. And that's why I think it's so important to have different, these gratitude for thoughts or these thankful thoughts in your head, and then saying them to your friend, your mother, your girlfriend. And most of the time, probably all of the time, if you say the thought to the person you have it, they will smile and they will be so thankful to you. And gratitude journaling works like this. You take a piece of paper and you write down one thing you're grateful for. Could be as simple as I'm grateful for this power bank because it provides my camera with power or with battery. Simple, right? Or I'm grateful for the headsets, so I'm able to listen to music when I'm in the gym. So that's gratitude journaling. And like I said, the benefits are huge. You can literally walk down a random street and then and there have a positive thought. Then you say this thought to the friend or the girlfriend who's next to you, and you will feel better. The person next to you will feel better, and with that you will have a better life. What can you do on top of that? On top of those four essential habits, I would say you find out what do you like. What do you like watching? What do you like listening to? Do you like to watch cycling? Then cycle more. Do you like to watch crafting video? Then do that. Join a seminar, join a course, or get a teacher or a mentor in that area and then learn that. Maybe you like origami, then learn how to do that. Maybe you like to play the piano, then fucking do that. Maybe you like playing the guitar, then learn to do that. You need to find out what you like and then doing it. And maybe you find out something you like, but you have an excuse, but I'm not ready yet, or what if or that, or what. No, just do it. You have free time because you stop scrolling, and then fill the time with productive stuff, with stuff you actually like doing, or you find passionate about. And do it, just do it. This is so important, just fucking doing, just taking action. This is so important. You need to take action, you need to do it, you need to just fucking do it. Don't listen to your mind, just do or pursue what you're passionate about, pursue what you like, and create a habit or a hobby around that topic. And two things I want to say is, first, to be consistent is simple. If you find out things you're passionate about or habits you like doing, to be consistent is simple. You create a plan and you create when you want to do that habit each day at the same time every day. If you do this, if you literally do just that, doing that habit or that hobby at the same time every day, you will be consistent because it's so easy to stick to it if you do it every day at the same time. And on top of that, you need to do progressive overload. Like in a gym where you start with the smallest weight for, let's say, biceps curls, you need to increase the weight. And you increase the weight with, let's say, for reading, you start with 1 page a day, then with 2 pages, then with 4, then with 10, and so on. With playing the piano, you start with practicing 5 minutes, and then 10 minutes, and then so on. With that, on the start, it's easy to learn that habit. It's easy to start that habit because you don't just start with doing 1 hour a day. You start small, and then with progressive overload, you will can go on to doing it for 1 hour. To summarize, you need to switch your mindset. You need to switch your mindset from your current malicious mindset to a better, less scroll mindset. On top of that, you need to you need to answer yourself 2 questions. Why you want to stop scrolling and why you want to continue to scroll. Then you need to compare those answers on a scale. Depending on how strong or heavy your answer is, you need to see if the scale tips in your favor on stopping scrolling or in the favor of the apps. Continue to scroll. If they are in the favor of the apps, you need to make your answer deeper and heavier. And the last thing is you replace your old bad habits with new habits, with better habits, with the 4 essential habits, and with habits you like doing and you find passionate. Right. If you want help with stopping scrolling, reducing your screen time, and also finding new habits, being more productive, then click the first link in the description. On that said, have a great day, sleep well, and I see you in the next one. Goodbye.